think this review is a long time in the making. American Werewolf in Paris. This film is quite special to me in different ways because I think it's the first werewolf film I ever saw as a kid. I saw this very young, before I was of age to see this film properly. There was this channel called Sky, I think it's Sky Movie Max, back in the day. You showed less prestigious films. Premiere, back in the day when I had Sky, there's Premiere Movie Max. Movie Max, more action based, not less prestigious films. And Premiere, the more prestigious films. I watched this on Sky Movie Max, I think it was Movie Max. And this film was the first werewolf film. I had no idea American Werewolf London existed. American Werewolf London, I had no idea. American Werewolf Paris, I had no idea it was a secret American Werewolf London. I didn't know nothing about American Werewolf London. I was only 7 or 8 years old when I watched this film the first time. Yeah. I was watching London a couple of years later. Then I realised how good London was. How much classic American Werewolf London it was. And this film is a sequel, sort of spin-off reboot of American Werewolf London. The leading actress, played by Julie Delpy, Seraphine Pigo. A lot of people don't know this. She's the daughter of the main character, American London, David Kessler, played by David Norton. This film, there was meant to be a sequel to American Werewolf London, originally directed by the original director, John Landis, but there was a lot of development hell. I think Steve rejected it. I think the original draft that Alex Price was a werewolf, became infected by werewolf disease, and Dr. Hirsch kept her in a cage to stop her from killing people. That was another draft. Another draft, there was a character called Debbie, what's her name? In London, that character I mentioned in London, I think Griffin Dunes, who played Jack Griffin's character, Jack Griffin. I think like college crush or high school crush. She's a reporter that's finding out, the mystery of werewolves and deal with death. There was another draft of a sequel where Dr. Hirsch is now in Paris. A teacher gets affected by, gets bit by werewolf, and Dr. Hirsch finds a way to control the serum, control transformations. But none of this stories came to fruition and ended up scrapped. Until 1997, until 16 years later, the American Werewolf Power, which has elements of pure just of the sequel. So Seraphine Pigo, played by Julie Delpy, who knows her before Sunrise Trilogy, as well as Three Musketeers, which is on Three Musketeers movie. She's a French actress. She tried to commit suicide because she later on found out that she killed her. In the beginning, there's a scene where a guy is running in the rain from a monster. The monster is Seraphine werewolf form. He bites all his legs off and almost kills him. After the serum, there's a serum that he created to help his stepfather. He creates a serum that he thinks that will control transformation, will prevent transformations. It makes transformation instant. And she also kills the mother as well in the process. Well, because of the guilt of her parents' fate, she tried to commit suicide by jumping off the Eiffel Tower. 3 American tourists, one played by Tom Everett Scott, helps saves her life, and ends up falls instantly in love at first sight. However, he banks her health against the Eiffel Tower, goes, into the hospital. Also, I think Sophia's also a nurse as well, because you see her Sophie at the hospital in a nurse outfit. So I think she's a nurse as well. She tracked Sophie down at her house. Sophie, knowing about werewolf nature, that she's too dangerous to be in a relationship with anybody. Tries to, do her things to turn Andy away, but Andy's very stubborn and what he thinks Sophie's the love of her life and doesn't do whatever it takes to win her heart. But then eventually, whilst at the house, Andy and his friends, one called Brad, one was called Chris. I think Vince Wheeler plays Brad, who's was in Rat Race, the competitor, contestant with the ring and his with the tongue piercing, can't talk properly because of the tongue piercing in his mouth. And I think the other one is Phil Butman, I think is a singer of a band. And this film very reminds me of it's a mixture of aspects of American Werewolf in London, but with Scream. It's very much a 90s horror film, very 90s horror film. A lot of 90s, tunes of the day, like it's got Smash Mouth, what's that song? What's that Smash? Silver Sun. I can't remember now. Walking in the Sun. It's got a lot of 90s tunes. Very 90s. Scream mixed with American Werewolf in London and a bit of I think what Secret Cult, not The Faculty. Can't be Faculty because this came out before Faculty, so American Werewolf in London with mixed with Scream, with the satire, horror satire, and I can't think of another film I can compare this film to in terms of comparison. It's just got a neo-Nazi element to it. So also the bad guy is Claude, played by French actor Pierre Cosso. He's the leader of a Royal Society that hates foreigners, especially Americans, leads them to clubs and kills them. Find out that this was, I think, Sophie's ex-boyfriend that became werewolf by blood, stealing her blood. So I believe there's other ways to become werewolf according to the folklore of this movie. You can either be bitten, scratched by a werewolf, or you can steal the blood. I'm guessing you either drink or inject the blood. So I guess you inject the blood into your blood and you become werewolf. You know that you can become a werewolf by using their blood. This film is is it more human than scary? It's not scary. The film was very well received and did well at the box office. It had a 25 million budget and just made 26 million worldwide, so it was a flop. It's not terrible. There's just special. The thing about this film is special effects. Special effects are bad. They look like video game. Well, they don't look like wolves. They look like monkeys. Like mixed with gargoyles mixed with monkeys. They look like proper wolves. The CGI is what hurts me the more than anything. The story itself, a bit rushed. There's two versions of this film. I think there's a version where there's some deleted scenes where doing a meeting between the film's villain Claude and the main character antagonist Andy, played by Tom Scott. where cosplayers that back in the middle, the dark age, Middle Ages, the werewolves were like, I don't know, there were loads of werewolves, especially in France, but they got hunted down to bring extinction. Until the last werewolf escaped to UK, which is the werewolf that bit. They were casting the character, they were noted in the record of London. It turned out he was a final werewolf. He infected him. Then the woman, Alex Price, escaped the powers and gave birth to the werewolf that got killed, daughter, which is Seraphine. So the backstory of this of the connection between London and Paris is explained briefly by Claude, which I wish it was in all both versions of the movies, because he had depth. Because it's not clear whether this is from the sequel or reboot or the spin-off of London. It is a sequel. Just that not, for some reason, it's not really clarified as a sequel to Paris. But I don't know, because London is a beloved horror classic. That's not still why Paris wasn't marketed as a sequel, it was more marketed as its own thing. Anyways, Julie Deckman is a great actress. She tries her best with the script she's given. I don't like the description. It's not absolutely best script in the world. It's okay. However, Scott is okay. He's meant to be the goofball, hopeless and romantic type guy that is doing what it takes to win the heart of Julie Delp's character. The villain of Claude is okay. He's meant to be basically a neo-Nazi gang. You need a Nazi world society angle. I find it quite interesting. I just think it was better. I think you need a better script, better director. This role could have been amazing if it had a better director, better script, and some movies and better CGI, because the werewolves are terrible looking. The werewolves just don't even look realistic, not CGI. They don't even look like practical effects, nothing. The werewolves don't look real, they look CGI. Way too video game, way too CGI, way too. And imagine that the werewolf in American Werewolf in London, and that was made 16 years earlier by John Landis, and the best effects were probably not as good. But look at John Landis achieved with that film and this, like what the hell? The things you can do technology, man, unbelievable. The world looked terrible. The worst part of the movie, the world looked terrible, absolute terrible. The world CGI is straight out of a PS1 movie, PS1 video game movie. Straight the world look like a PS1 video game. The design is terrible. Dude, that would be world transformation is terrible. Oh. But the film has something like I don't know why. It was a time about Scott's goofball character. I don't know. There's a charm about this movie. There's still about this good charmed element. It's up there with the classics. Is it Howling, American Werewolf in London, The Wolfman, Bad Moon, Late Phases, The Weeks of Werewolves Within, Ginger Snaps, Dog Soldiers. There's so many classic werewolf movies. This is not one of the best. It's just a mediocre Scream mixed with American Werewolf in London, mixed with I guess the Skull with the secret cult aspect, secret society aspect to it. I understand why this film is a disaster compared to London. It's not, it can't touch London, it can't lace the bootstraps. But as long as you don't take it seriously, as long as you're not expecting much, as long as you don't have a high expectation, you have some fun in this movie. He has an okay plot, a little rush, 70s acting by Julie Delpy, and I think they got a decent villain in Claude, even though it's not fleshed out. I think the villain's decent in Claude, but, played by Peter Cosso. Humor's okay, it's funny in places. Oh yeah, Julie Baldwin from the Happy Gilmore movies and one of the family who plays are good at has, tries to have one like standing with the main character, Andy McDermott, and Tom Everett's character, played by Tom Everett, Scott's character that gets killed by Tom Everett, Scott's character, whilst in werewolf form at a cemetery. And special effects are terrible. Oh my god, they're terrible in this film. 5 out of 10. On a bad day, 4 out of 10. On a good day, 5 out of 10. 2.5 stars out of 5. It's an okay time waster. As long as you don't take it seriously, you might have some fun with it. It's not the worst film. It's not Madden Web. There's Madden Web, there's the Marvels, there's what's that? I see Madden Web, Queen Hunter. It's not a great movie when you step up in imagination, but at least it's not boring. The worst type of films are the ones that are boring, so at least entertaining some parts. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Adios amigos. Bye now.